Hello and welcome to another episode of Instructor 101 for outdoor instructors that want to have an even bigger impact on those that they work with. Today we'll be looking at a quick interview that I did with Mike from Mike Ryder Coaching, where we were discussing how to prepare for training and assessments. Enjoy. With Mike from Mike Ryder Coaching, and today we're just going to do a quick interview with Mike just to find out about his experiences as an outdoor instructor and a little bit more about training and assessment. So for me, I've known Mike for a long time, and
some would say too long.
Some would say too long, and I just wanted to let Mike just introduce himself, tell him a little bit about himself. So Mike, over to you.
Cool. So I've been working in the outdoors for over 10 years now. I started out, I did a college course in outdoor education, did a BTEC, then I worked in centres, did a bit of freelance work, I've run centres, and now most of what I do is I work as a technical advisor for some places, as a course provider running British canoeing courses, as a coach. I also work as a mountain leader and do the odd bit of a centre work kind of here and there as well.
Awesome. So you got loads of accolades to yourself now, which is great, and you've obviously built that over time. But that aside, part of that is obviously you run training sessions and run assessments as well.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering for instructors or those think that following that, like the NGB path, have you got any thoughts on how people can prepare or make the most out of training sessions?
Cool. So I think if you're looking at an NGB, it's always worthwhile chatting to a provider firsthand to make sure that the NGB is the right one for you, that it's actually going to serve the purpose that you want it to.
Yeah.
And then if it is, they'll be able to give you a good feeling of whether you're at the right standard to come for that training course. Because even though it is training, it is important that you arrive with a good standard of skill, a good background knowledge to it, so that you get the most out of the course. As an example, not really from my world, but as an example, you wouldn't turn up to a CWA training and expect to be taught how to climb. I think it's good to have a chat to providers as well beforehand to just sort of check, what you're going to get from the course, and that their way of doing things is going to line up with your way of learning. If you come to me for things, it's going to be quite fun and relaxed. Not everybody likes that. Some people do prefer a more kind of regimented approach, like really hammering in on technical details and things like that. And just make sure that you're going to get the most out of the training course that you're going to go for.
Brilliant. Now, obviously, Mike, you've been on the other side of assessments yourself, just being able to provide all these different awards and bits like that. And obviously, you do the assessment part as well. So, have you got any thoughts about how people should prep for an assessment? I know for myself, like a few years ago, I did my mountain leader summer assessment. I was really proud. I managed to get that done and tick it all off. But I remember a lot of anxiety about doing that, and I was just wondering if you got any thoughts or advice on any sort of assessment, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think bribing the assessor is a massively underrated way to approach an assessment.
But for those that want to necessarily go through it without
legitimately, right? Okay,
legitimate.
Sorry, okay, fine. I think the key thing is to remember that an assessment is an opportunity for you to show what you can do and what you're about to the assessor. In terms of preparing for an assessment, I think it's really important that you don't necessarily just prepare for the assessment. Prepare for the job that you're going to do beyond that. So if you're preparing for, let's say, example, a coach award assessment to go and coach paddle sport, make all your preparation about the coach that you want to be once you've passed that assessment, not just for the assessment. That's really important for you going on to do that job, but ultimately that's what the assessor is going to be looking for as well, because yes, we have a syllabus that we're going to be looking at to make sure that you hit certain markers, but also the question we've got to ask ourselves is, after that day or however long that assessment period is this person going to go on and do a good job? Are they going to keep people safe? Are they going to teach people the right things? Are they going to show people a nice time? Prepare for the job that you're going to do. And you can't over prepare for an assessment. The more experience you've got going into it, the better. There's an old saying about Plasy Brennan. Apparently, people used to say that they'd be able to tell by the way people got off a minibus whether they were going to pass their assessment. And while I don't think that's true, I understand the logic behind it, which is that if somebody looks like they're comfortable in that environment and they look like they know what they're doing, you can see through the assessment nervousness so that actually they've got a good understanding of what's going on here, which is very different to somebody who's completely out of their depth because they've not done enough practice, they've not been there and worked through it enough.
Yeah. No, I really like that. I really like the fact that you actually, the reason why you're doing those qualifications, not just to get a certificate at the end of the day, it's actually more about looking what you're going to use that qualification for long term, just beyond the assessment. So yeah, so true. And obviously, Mike, you've got a lot of experience now working as an outdoor instructor, and we come across people with different backgrounds, different abilities. And yeah, obviously, ideally, we'll look at any tips or ideas that you've got that might help people that are starting off within the industry. That'll just help them out and make a bigger impact on those that they work with.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit like what I said before about assessments. There's absolutely no substitute for experience. At our core, good instructors, good coaches, good guides are good decision makers, whether that's a decision about what we do today, whether that's a decision about how we keep people safe, or whether that's a decision about actually how do I intervene in this particular situation to get the most out of it for these people. And good decision making comes from good background knowledge and experience. So wherever you are in the industry, whether you're just starting out or whether you're somebody that's a bit more experienced, chasing down more experiences, broader experiences, working with different groups, working in different environments, working with more experienced people is something that I would absolutely suggest that people go and do. And ultimately, there's no such thing as bad experience. Even if all you learn from something is how not to do something, that's still a valuable learning, bit of learning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely about reviewing our own practice as well. So yeah, really valuable.
Awesome. Ebook.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I've got a review an ebook as well. I'll put a link in there as well. So yeah, we'll get that all sorted. So yeah, thanks for that, Mike. What I'll do now is I'll go on to some quick fire questions for you. So yeah, let's see how he does. So we're going to go on to our quick fire question round. So I've got some notes written down. So yeah, here we go. So Mike, yeah, if we ramble and stuff, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, paddling or climbing?
100% paddling.
100%. Not even a little bit?
All right, like 99.99%.
Just in case.
Yeah.
If I wasn't an instructor, I would be
Single.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met my wife at a centre. You met your future wife working at a centre. It's one of the many advantages to working in the outdoors.
Okay, to find a life partner.
Ooh.
Fair enough. Favourite outdoor space to be?
On the water.
Yeah. Any particular river or
just
lake?
as long, if the water's flowing or the wind's blowing and it's the sun's shining, then I'm happy.
Yeah. Cool. Most memorable instructor moment?
Last year we took a group of kids from Warrington, so from quite disadvantaged backgrounds. We took them on holiday in North Wales. As part of that, we took them up Holyhead Mountain one morning. Not particularly big, not the most exciting mountain in the world. We walked all the way up there in fog, and when we got to the top there was this just perfect cloud inversion. We could see right the way across to mountains in Snowdonia. We could see mountains in Ireland, and just to be up there with those guys, just loving being outside and seeing something like that for the first time was awesome.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. A good instructor always has
a plan B, or a kind of something else to go on to if it's not working. That just that ability to adapt if what they had planned doesn't work out.
Yeah, cool. And then, what is your favourite failure?
I had a really cool trip along the Caledonian Canal, along the Great Glen Way, with a group of students recently. We didn't make it quite as far as we wanted to because the weather wasn't in our favour. There was a lot of big headwind on the second day, but what that provided for was a real big adventure. And I think the sense of kind of working together and getting on with it and getting through that day and overcoming was probably greater than if we'd made it to the end without kind of anything eventful happening.
Yeah, cool. And then, the last quick fire question is, what is the worst advice that you hear being dispensed?
I think there's a lot of advice out there to young people or kind of young instructors starting off in the industry that goes along the lines of you don't need to be paid well and you don't need to sort of have reasonable working conditions because you enjoy the job. You got to enjoy what you're doing for sure, but you've still got to look after yourself. So don't be afraid to kind of push back against the things that you feel are unreasonable, and look after yourself. Would be my counter advice.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely something to be said. Like, obviously, as instructors, we've got to make sure that we are looking after our physical health, looking after our mental health as well. But yeah, just also having a decent quality of living as well. So yeah,
absolutely.
A really important part of that as well. Cool. All right, that's the end of the quick fire questions.
Excellent.
So that's everything. So thank you very much, Mike, for your time.
No problemo.
Where could people find out more about you or any of the course that you're running?
Best place to look is to check out Mike Ryder Coaching on Facebook or follow on Instagram.
Yeah, awesome. And something I want to try and make a bit more of a tradition is to get the person I'm interviewing to ask a question to the audience, to those that are watching. So yeah, over to you, Mike.
So they're going to put this in the comments, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So how about you share with us your best adventure in the last year?
Cool. So there you go. What was your best adventure in the last year? So if you enjoyed that, please like, subscribe, share this. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, take care. Peace.